Hi everyone, my name is Phil and welcome to Phil Does 3D. I'm a multimedia and 3D artist and I stream live on Twitch on Mondays and Tuesdays at 5 PM Pacific time in the United States, which is midday in Australia or 1 AM if you're in the UK. Always remember, if you miss the live streams, you can catch up with the premiere event streams on a Friday and Saturday at 2 PM Pacific time in the US, which is 9 AM in Australia or 10 PM in the UK. I hope all you guys and girls are well. Sniper Echo, Fred, Andrew, Paz, it's good to see all you guys. I hope you're all well. And Smurfberry Barbecue, there he is. It's good to see you guys. I hope you had a good night. Smurfberry, actually, I noticed in Discord, Smurfberry, you were saying that the reason your curvature map wasn't baking was because you forgot part of the low-res mesh. Smurfberry. It happens to us all, don't worry. Yeah, hard to get a curvature map baked out if you don't have your low-res mesh there. The important thing is you found the problem. That's the important thing. It's good to see you guys. We're going to continue working on our rotunda terrace, garden terrace that we're making in Max using photogrammetry, or pieces of photogrammetry. And then before we take it into Mari and Substance Painter to texture it up, and then finally we will take it into Eon View to make a pretty beauty render, so that I've got an image to put on my store when I go to sell it. And Sniper is saying, any of you guys created a weight map from a texture? A weight map? What do you mean by weight map? I'm not quite familiar with a weight map. I may have to look that up, Sniper Echo. I'm not familiar with a weight map. Geez, I'm falling further and further behind with all of this new stuff, obviously, that's coming out, because I have not heard of a weight map. Unless you're calling it something else. Like, unless it's something I'm aware of, but it's... There are 300 names for the same thing in 3D. People call different things different, the same thing, all different things, so that's a possibility. Yeah, I haven't created a weight map because I'm not really familiar with what a weight map is. Okay, so Sniper says, so my use case is this. I want particles to spawn on a mesh, and to control where the particles spawn, you use a weight map. Okay. Yeah, give us an example, Sniper. I'd like to have a look. Yeah, again, Smurfer is saying that he painted a weight map for rigging. Again, I'm familiar with that type of weight map where you paint on the verts to create a weight map for rigging. So maybe it's the same sort of thing in the particle editor. Painted weights, yeah. It's like vertex painting sort of thing. You paint the weights in the 3D program as to how much you want the mesh to deform when you animate it. In UE4, you do the same sort of thing for cloth physics. You paint the weights in as to how little or how much you want the cloth to move. Oh, it's exactly the same thing. Okay. Let me have a look at this link you've just popped in there, Sniper Echo. I'm just going to transfer it opens it up in my default browser, which is Chrome. I'm just going to transfer that over to Edge. Because Edge is the browser I use on stream, and Chrome is my private browser that I use. Yeah, weight mapping, yeah. My apologies, I do understand. When you said it, I thought, immediately I thought like bitmap. Because, you have normal map, bent normal map, all that type of stuff. That's where my mind immediately went, yeah, weight mapping. Okay, so what's your question? You want particles to spawn on a mesh. To control where the particles spawn, you use a weight map. Okay, but you're going to have to do that in whatever editor you're using to do your particles. So if you're using UE4, you'd paint them in UE4. If you're using your Blender, you'd probably paint them in Blender. Same with Max Maya, all that sort of thing. I know you can do it in UE4, but at least on cloth physics, because I did it for the House on the Hollow that we did on the banners and stuff that were hanging from the ceiling, from the walls. Yeah, no, I understand what you mean, Sniper Echo. is there no option? What program are you using to do your weight mapping, to do your particle effects? Are you using Blender or are you using UE4? Again, if you're using Blender, I would assume there'd be an option in Blender to paint the weight maps in. And if you're using UE4, I know that there is an option, at least with cloth physics. I'd be surprised if Epic Games didn't give you an option in UE4 to do it for particles as well. So yeah, I do know what you mean. I'm just not sure why you're having a problem doing it, because I'm not sure what software you're using. Sniper Echo says, yeah, I'm trying to do some more procedural stuff in Blender. Okay, so yeah, trying to import some data instead of manually paint. Oh, okay. Right, okay. Ooh, that could be a bit more tricky. Usually weight maps you paint by hand. You don't do them procedurally. I'm not saying you couldn't. I don't know if there's anything off the shelf to do it that way though. Again, that program that you mentioned or put me onto, that OpenVD or whatever it's called, is there an option in that to do that sort of thing? Maybe you could transfer it across using that program. Again, I haven't had time to really look into that program yet. I want to, because it does look very cool. And it's open source, guys and girls, so if you want to check it out, you should. Sniper Echo put a link on in the Discord server, so jump on Discord if you're not already a member and check it out if you're interested. Sniper says, having said that, I haven't looked into what is available in Unreal for that. I'd be incredibly surprised. Again, I know you can do it, you can paint manually in Unreal, you can do weight maps that way. Whether someone's created something to do it procedurally in Unreal, that's a possibility. A lot of people have made a lot of stuff for Unreal. So, Blender, again, I'm not a Blender person, so I don't know. But even in Max, I'm pretty sure you still got to do it by hand. There's no procedural way in Max that I'm aware of to do it. I don't even know of a script that you could use, but again, I haven't really looked into doing it procedurally. I've always ever done my weight mapping by hand, painting by hand. Paz says, sometimes in the post-production you get a similar result in less time. Yeah, again, I don't know what Sniper is doing for why he wants his weight maps, whether he's putting it into a real-time engine or something. But Paz is correct. Sometimes doing it post-production, if you don't need it, real-time is quicker. To say, I do that too with depth of field, things like that. If I'm doing a cinematic render outside of Unreal, because Unreal does it real-time, I don't do the depth of field within the rendering program. I do it post-production because it's quicker. You can render out your images much more quickly without depth of field or field of view. Depth of field. Field of view is for the camera. So I do all that sort of thing post-production generally. Because Paz is correct, it is much faster. Okay, so this is what we're working on. We have to do some more work on the terrace base here. I think what we might do first of all is we need railings around the outsides of these terrace pieces, and I'm considering making this model modular so that when I go to sell it on my store, people can rearrange the pieces to create whatever shape they want. Now, I'm not going to do that with the main rotunda, but I will do it with the stair sections around the outside. Of course you're correct, Paz. You're never wrong, are you, Paz? Yeah, I'm sorry I couldn't be more help, Sniper Echo, but yeah, I've always done weight mapping, painting by hand. Remember, I don't pretend to know everything. And I don't do a lot of procedural generated stuff. I do stuff by hand. Because that's just the kind of guy I am. I like to get in there and do it by hand. So yes, getting back to this model. I want to try and make some sections modular. So I think these stair sections here will be a good candidate for to make modular. That way people can put as many of these stairs around the terrace as they want. They can put no stairs if they wanted to, but I wouldn't suggest they do that. Look a bit weird. no way to get up there. And these column pieces here, they could probably be made modular as well. But what that means is when we come to design the railings for these pieces, we're going to have to think about it a bit more carefully. Now, this would all be one piece, I imagine. I'm going to provide this piece, this column, separate, as a separate object. And I'm also going to duplicate this column without the statue for the columns around the outside of the terrace. And I'm going to do that just to keep consistency between the look and the design of all the pieces. So why remodel something if you can reuse it? It saves you time, and it helps to tie everything together a little bit better. Apparently it's possible in Maya, Sniper Echo says. Well, there you go. Yeah, I don't know of any software that can export a weight map off the top of my head. Again, I have not had a lot to do with particle effects. I'm going to use particle effects in this model for water coming out of this fountain, the lion heads. I'm going to have water coming out of those. I'm going to use particles for that. But that'll be my first sort of play with particles for quite a while. I don't generally use particle effects. I did them in Unreal for the House on the Hollow, but they weren't anything outrageous. They were candle, flame, smoke, all that sort of stuff. Fog. So I've only sort of touched on particle work. And in Archviz, where I work, we don't use particles really at all. So I have to get myself a job back at a game studio or back in film and start doing some particle stuff. So yeah, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start placing the wrought iron fencing around the outside pieces of the terrace. I think we'll start with that. I'm supposed to be finishing the modelling work today and jumping into Mari next week, but I can tell you now, I'm not going to get this finished today. I did warn you guys in Discord though that when I put my schedule up that it was subject to change, and it's already going to be blown out. Can't be helped. Because I refuse to be rushed. I don't want to do something if I've got to rush. What's the point? I'm just going to do a copy of this spline here. I get rushed enough at work. I don't want to be rushed in my free time. And I'm just going to scale it up so that we sort of fit the terrace. Now, I really probably should be doing the border work before I put the ironwork in. I wonder if I should. Sniper Echo is saying, wait, this project will go over time and budget. Shocked you are? Because projects never go over time or budget, do they, Sniper Echo? Everybody knows exactly how long everything takes, and everything's delivered on time all the time. If only. That's because we're not machines, we're human beings, and we run into problems that we don't foresee, and that pushes the timeline back. Yeah, that's just the way it is. It's hard. Clients sometimes don't understand that. They want, you say, oh, it'll take me a couple of weeks. And then a couple of weeks goes by and you're not finished. And then the client says, but you told me it would only take a couple of weeks. Yeah, well, if you think it's so easy, why don't you do it yourself? Terrible. Hopefully work aren't watching me. Or any of the clients at work aren't watching me. Paz says, I can't link here because you've got over 100 free particle flow presets with 3D Studio Max. Pretty amazing stuff. You can always link in Discord, Paz, if you really want to. In the Discord. Build us 3D Discord. Paz says saying you have 100 free particle flow presets within 3D Studio Max. Again, I haven't looked at Max's built-in particle system. I'm not going to be using Max's particle system for this. I'm going to be using Phoenix, made by the Chaos Group, the same people that make V-Ray, the renderer, simply because it comes with my license for V-Ray, or the studio's license for V-Ray, so I might as well use it, see what it's like. So I'll use Phoenix to do the particle system, or to do the water. but it can do all sorts of stuff. It can do really cool fire effects, smoke effects, all sorts of really interesting particle effects in Phoenix. Not that I'm an expert, because like I said, I'm pretty new to particles. And I only want to use it to do water. And again, the water will be like a modular piece. It'll be a separate object that they can remove if they want to when they want to do a render. I can actually export an Alembic file as well from Max through Phoenix of the water effect if I want to. I may do that, and that'll be an animated mesh. So if people do want to do like a 10-second animation, they'll have a 10-second water fountain shot, liquid movement. I'll think about doing that. We'll see how we go. Foam, yep, it does foam and everything as well. Phoenix does. I'm assuming you're talking about Phoenix pads when you say nice plugin. I see some results. Water, yep, it does. It does foam, water splash, mist. It can do all of that sort of particle effects if you want in Phoenix. So I know it is good. So I'm keen to test it out, try it out myself. So yeah, this railing work, I really probably should. I really should do the border work before I do the railings, I think. So I'm just going to move this spline off to the side here. We'll come back to it in a minute. Actually, no, let me send that back. I'm going to use the spline anyway to do the bordering. So just got to make sure I scale it up correctly. We will see if we can use some arrays and things to do the edge work. Might speed it up a little bit. I'm just making sure that my spline here is correctly placed, and that looks good. I'm just going to move it up a little bit so we can see it as we're working with it. Alright, now let's work on the top edge for this main terrace piece first. I'm going to go into my side viewport here. I'm just going to create a shape that I want for the border using a spline. I think I just want a very basic shape, nothing too outrageous. Oh, good, you just jumped into Discord pass. Good to see. There's a gallery section and stuff in Discord for you guys and girls. If you want to show off your work, please feel free to do so. You see, I do see you. I have Discord open here while I stream. So I've got my Twitch client open, Twitch chat, and I've also got Discord. So don't think that if you join Discord or you post a message or something in Discord, I won't see it. I will see it. Have no fear. Okay, that should probably be okay. Okay, let's move this closer to our spline. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just isolate the spline and that shape. Just makes it easier for me to work with it. I'm just going to move that over to where our spline is. And scale it up a bit because it looks like it's a bit small. And Paz has just posted the 100 free particle system free from, that he's talking about in Autodesk. Oh, okay, it's over 100 free particle flow presets from Alan McKay. Very cool. So let's just have a quick look at this. I can't help myself. Paz has posted a link to a YouTube video that shows the particle effect orb. I'm just going to mute any audio that might be coming through there. Very cool. And these are free particle effects that you can use in 3D Studio Max, made by Mr. Alan McKay. Cool. So if you're a 3D Studio Max user, do check this out. This does look very cool. And they're free. We all know Autodesk charge enough for the program. It's good to get something for free. I do remember too, though I haven't said it in a while, but if you're a student or a teacher, you can get a free 3-year license from Autodesk for 3D Studio Max or Maya or Revit. There's a whole range of software that Autodesk own and distribute that you can use for free. They'll give you a free 3-year license if you're a student or a teacher. So all you need is a student email address. And you can use it for free. You can't use it commercially though. Don't make commercial stuff with it. They won't like that. But you can certainly use it to do your school projects or to learn with. And then you can check these free particle effects out. Well, there's a lot of them. Very cool. Particle effect of snow, I'm assuming. You can set up your own nuclear explosions. I don't know, particles are really cool. I love particle effects. They're a really cool thing to play with. Just something almost magical about particle effects in 3D. I'm probably not describing what I mean well, but just some sort of there's something so cool about it, about particles. The pack is pretty cool, Sniper Echo says. Yeah, it does look very cool. Anyway, you guys jump on the Discord server because Paz has posted a link in Discord where you can download it. So, and it's free. We love free. Sniper says it's hard to explain, but I'm basically using an approach that is used within the OpenVDB project to process pretty big data sets, and I can then apply specific rule sets to control an array of factors. I almost have a fully working workflow except for this one step. The OpenVDB project is pretty awesome. I do want to check it out, Sniper Echo. Ever since you posted the link in the Discord server and I had a quick look at it, it is something I do want to check out because it does look incredibly cool. And the new version of Eon View, you can import and export OpenVDB files, so you can use those files in View now as well. The new version of View that they just released. Pardon me. So I want to check it out for that reason as well because I use View quite a bit. Sniper Girl, it's good to see you, Sniper Girl. How are you? Always good to see you, Sniper Girl. Paz is saying the base of there you can modify it. Yeah, I think Paz is talking about the particle effects that he just linked to, the 100 particle effects for Max. He says that they use them as a base and then modify them from there to tailor them to whatever needs you have. Sniper Girl. I don't know if that was late But thanks for the sub, Sniper Girl. I think you subbed last week, and maybe it's just taken Streamlabs a little while to send it through. I do appreciate the subscription as Sniper Girl, so thank you very much. Yes, in 10 months, where did time go? I told you guys, the older you get, the faster it goes. And trust me, it's true. The last year, like 2018, just flew by. I can't believe we're in 2019 already. It's just scary. Scary fast how quickly things go. And Paz says, wait, it's a Sniper female. That's right. Not to be confused with Sniper Echo, who is a boy, I think. I'm pretty sure. Sniper Girl is a girl. He's going well. That's good to hear, Sniper Girl. Modelling a full-size van for the gas station scene. Ah, cool. Yes, no, I'm going very well as well. Thank you. And I do appreciate the support, Sniper Girl. I appreciate all my subs, and I thank you all very much. It's awesome of you guys to subscribe to me, and yeah, I'm blown away. I do appreciate it. Thank you very much. And it's good to hear you doing the van for the gas station you showed us last week, because it was looking very cool. Just going to rotate this around. But yes, no, I'm going well. Thank you for asking, Sniper Girl. It's all good. I never complain, or I try not to. That's not true. I complain all the time. No, I try not to complain. Nobody likes a whinger. I'm assuming you guys know what a whinger is. I hope it's not just Australian vernacular. No one likes people that complain all the time, basically. So I try not to complain. But no, I have nothing to complain about. Things are good. And Sniper Girl says, yeah, last I looked, I'm a girl. All right, we're going to work out what size we want for this border piece. I'm just going to quickly jump out of isolation mode so I can get a better idea of how big this border is looking. I think it needs to be a bit bigger. Because this, the top of this terrace is quite large, so. That should probably be okay. I do want a bit of overhang on this edging, this border edging, so that should work. Sniper says, wow, if only ZBrush devs heard those words, Phil. Whingy, you say. That's right. I never whinge about anything, do I, Sniper Echo? Pardon me. Sniper Girl says, kind of going with the survival type look, going to have a bed in the back of the van, and we'll have stacked up newspaper for wall installation. Really want it to be looked like somebody has been surviving in it for a while. Well, that sounds really cool. It's always good when you come up with an idea that's different, and that's a very, a really cool thing to do, as apart from just doing a normal interior. Make it more, I was going to say stylized, but it's not really stylized. Make it more real. I think it's cool. It sounds cool, because the gas station was looking really cool. And if you guys don't know what we're talking about, you should have been here for last week's stream when Sniper Girl was showing us. All right, let's see what we can do here. Now I have to try and remember how I'm going to do this. There's a lot of different ways to do this type of thing in 3D, particularly in Max. Again, I'm going to keep harping on, I show you the way that I do it. I'm not saying it's the best way to do it. I'm not even saying it's the only way to do it, but it's the way that I do it. And there are very many different ways to do the same, to get to the same end result when you're modeling in 3D. So, you want to have a story, Sniper Girl says? Well, yeah, a story. That was the word I was trying to think of, not style. A story, it's important. You're not just modeling something for the sake of modeling it. You're modeling something to create a mood or an atmosphere or a story. Well, most times you are anyway, if you're doing it right. That even goes to the basics of just the modeling. You can stylize a model in such a way that it tells the story. So yeah, it's important. So it sounds like a very good idea to me. you will have to show us Sniper Girl when you've done some more work on it. It was looking great. The work you've done on it's great now, but I'm always keen to see new stuff that you guys are working on. So if you're a sub, you can post links in Twitch chat, but if you're not and you want to show something off, remember the Discord server. There's a gallery section in Discord that you can show off your work. I'm going to do an extrude on this. Not that much. I just want a little bit of extrusion. That's good enough. Okay, now I must remember how to do this. I don't do it a huge amount, so it takes me a minute or two to remember how I actually need to do this. I believe we need to select a face. And then we need to extrude along a spline. And then we need to up the number of... Now, this is what's throwing me here. Why it's doing that. Sniper Girl says, "Oh well, good. I'm honestly excited and really can't wait to see everything done together." Yeah, I get like that as well. When I'm making something, I'm always keen to see the end result. Like, I enjoy making it, but making it is only half the fun. And it's really weird too, you know, when I'm designing something in 3D or when I'm making a beauty render in a 3D environment, I don't know what I want until it's finished. So I find it's exciting because as you're working on it, you're creating it. So it's not like I have in my mind, I want this here, I want this here, I want this here, and I want it to look a certain way. It sort of organically evolves as you work on it, as you make it, and then at the end you're surprised because it sort of created itself, if that makes sense. I find that really cool. I think that's a really cool thing. At least I think it's cool. Just let me undo that. I made an error there. So I get where you're coming from, Sniper Girl. It's exciting because even I don't really know what the final result is going to look like until it's actually done. Sniper Girl says, I'm the same way as well. Honestly, a lot of my ideas, things I want to do, they evolve. They evolve organically. It just happens. But that's what makes it so much fun. Well, at least I think to me, that's what makes it so much fun for me. The fact that these things just, they create themselves, really. I think that's really cool. The fact that it can just, you don't know what you're going to be doing, but at the end you come up with a result that you think looks cool. I knew you were going to do that to me, you rotten thing. Let me see if I can't correct this. I made a bit of an error there. I'm just going to remove that. And that. And that. I'm just going to clean this mesh up a little bit. With Max, if you try and zoom in and you're not hovered over the actual object, it loses its mind. You must make sure you keep it on the object as you're zooming in. Okay, I need to remove that interior piece here as well. And we're going to bridge those two pieces together. And we're going to do a mesh smooth, so everything is nice and smooth. Or an auto smooth, I should say, for the smoothing group. And now we can jump out of isolation mode. And let's just put the pivot to the center of the object so it's easier for us to move around. And let's place our edging. Again, there is an option to align to object in Max. I don't tend to use that. I tend to do things by hand here. But it is an option if you're one of those impatient people. Okay, we've got a bit of an overhang, which is good. And the smooth edges on the inside, which is good. Okay. I wanted to get this down before we started placing the railing, so I know where to actually put the railing. We're going to be doing some decorative work along the sides here as well, but we'll come to that in a minute. Sniper Echo's talking to Sniper Girl. Are you planning on selling? Yeah. What are you planning on doing with the project, Sniper Girl? It's a good question. I never asked. All right. Android Lust, it's good to see you, Android Lust. How are you? Always good to see you. Sniper Girl says, not really, though possibly. Haven't thought about it. Yeah, well, you don't have, you don't have to have a reason to make something in 3D. You guys and girls know that, my feelings on this. You should just be doing 3D because you enjoy it. So you don't have to have a reason to make something in 3D. That's completely fine. But you should, maybe think about selling it, Sniper Girl, because it was looking very cool. If you want. That's a portfolio piece, Sniper Girl is saying. Well, again, that's always a good thing to be creating stuff for your portfolio. Even once you've got some images in your portfolio, the more 3D stuff you do, the better you get. So you should always be swapping pieces in and out of your portfolio, I guess, after a while. All options are on the table, the Sniper Echo says. And Android Dust says, what project are we talking about? Sniper Girl's project. She's working on this gas station. She showed us last week. It's very cool. That's what we're talking about, Android Lust, the project that Sniper Girl is working on, a gas station. She's just going to start working on a car for the station. Sniper Girl says, I honestly haven't even thought about selling anything, not going to rule it out. No, don't rule it out, because I sell my work online, and I mean, I won't say you couldn't rely on it for a living, but if it just as a supplemental thing to your job, then yeah, it's a cool thing. You can make some extra money. You do run into problems with people trying to steal your work or trying to pass your work off as their own or that sort of thing. So that's a bit of a headache. But it's fun to see what people do with your work. Like I really enjoy seeing if somebody's purchased one of my models. I really like seeing what art they've created with it, how they've used it in their render. That always gives me a real buzz. I think that's really cool. And people use your models in ways you never would have thought. They put it in scenes you wouldn't have imagined yourself. And that's really cool. But I won't lie, you do have those problems, like I said, with people trying to steal your work. It's just that's the world we live in, and you know, some people are not nice. Let's scale this piece down a little bit. Come on, Max, don't you be so temperamental. So I'll do it here. You want to be like that, Max? I'll do it here. Now I'm just trying to decide how high this railing should be before I do anything. So it should be bigger than the railing in the center here, because this is a small rail around a pond. These are the main railings that run around the outside of the terrace, so they've got to be big enough so that people couldn't fall over them. Not so big that they're above people's heads though. So I'm thinking maybe a little bit smaller. Not that people, if they fell over, would hurt themselves, because this terrace isn't that high. It should probably be okay, I think. Yeah, I think that should be okay. Alrighty, now let's see if I can remember how to do this one. Android Lust says, the filled up gas station, that's the one Android does, yep. Because I love the name Filled Up, because she spells it P-H-I-L. Sniper Girl says, yeah, that's my biggest fear, to be honest. As a person that is just starting out, I'm worried that people will steal my work. They will, and if you put your models online for sale, they will. It's happened to me. I've had to send takedown notices left, right and centre for people putting my work up online for free or claiming for it to be their work. I remember not that long ago, it was probably around November last year, just before Christmas, I had to send a notice to a guy who was claiming most of my work as their own on some artist's website. It was listen, guys and girls, don't steal people's work. You're going to get caught. Employers are going to know. They know. They all talk to each other. We all talk to each other. It's a smallish industry. I mean, it's not a small industry, but chances are you know someone somewhere that works at a studio, or a friend of your friend knows someone. And you're going to get caught. People are going to know, and they're not going to trust you. They're not going to employ you if they think you're dishonest. And if you're stealing people's work, that's dishonest. You're doing yourself a disservice. You're making things harder for yourself. If you want to do 3D, don't steal people's work. Do 3D yourself. Practice. It's not that hard. See what you can come up with. It's much more enjoyable and fulfilling if you make the model than pretending that, than stealing somebody else's work and pretending you made it. Where's the fun in that? And you're only going to hurt yourself. So. But that is a problem, Sniper Girl. I'm not going to sort of sugarcoat it. That is a problem. People do that, and the more work you have for sale, the more opportunity there is for people to steal it and claim it to be their own, or just give it away. Like they'll use a stolen credit card to purchase the model. So what happens then is you don't even get the sale because the sale gets reversed. But then they have the model file and then they put it on some file sharing site and give it to everyone for free. Again, I know not everybody's got money to buy models. Look, I get that. I'm not so upset with that. I mean, I will have it taken down if I come across it. My bigger gripe is people stealing other people's work and claiming it as their own. I think that's dishonest and really wrong. All right, so enough bitching from Phil. Let us see, what do I want to do? Okay, so we've got I'm going to go into isolation mode here. So we're not distracted by everything else. And I want the align spacing tool, I think. Let's pick the path. And let's decide how many we want. Yeah, it sucks. It does suck, a sniper girl. And ouch, Andrew Doss says, yeah. Look, again, guys and girls, I know not everybody's got a lot of money, and maybe you see a model online and you think, I'd really like to use that in my art. Fine. But don't forget, the person that made that model put a lot of hours of work into it. Generally, they don't charge a lot for it. So thank you for the follow, Pepgorg. Pepgorg? Thank you, Pepgorg, for the follow. I do appreciate it. When you guys and girls follow my channel, so thank you, Pepgorg. Pepgorg. Yeah, the guys and girls put a lot of hours of work into creating their models and texturing them up. So try not to steal them, please. And please don't claim other people's work as your own. Please don't do that. I forgot to hit apply before I did that. There we go. Before I hit apply, I'm just going to jump out of isolation mode here. I want to see how far apart we need these to be in relation to the railing that's in the middle there. So I'm just sort of going to pull back here a little bit. Now it should be a bit wider than the one in the middle because the middle is smaller. So naturally the gap between them will be a bit tighter. We don't want the gap between these to be as tight as the ones in there. I might bring it up just a bit though. This should probably be good. We can apply and close that spacing tool. And I can just remove that rail there. That's the one we used as our starting point. Okay. Now, these are all separate pieces. We're going to have to sort of attach them all together, and this is attached, but it's actually not. It's just a group. So we'll look at that in a minute. Let me try and select and deselect quickly so that we can just get the railing. I think we just have the railing now. So we can jump into isolation mode. I'm just going to quickly attach all these pieces together. Now, I'm just going to convert that to an edit poly. Now remember I said to you guys and girls, I don't like to use the attached list. I like to go through and do it manually. Not for this. There are way too many pieces for me to do it manually. So I'm going to risk the attached list. Again, I've noticed with Max, sometimes it works great, sometimes it loses its mind. We will risk it and we will see. But just before I do that, I'm going to do a quick save because I turn autosave off. So once it's finished saving out, then we'll attach them all together. Smurfberry says, make the number of bars an integral pi. Okay, now we're going to do an attached list. Generally what I find with the attached list, if it's going to muck anything up, it's going to muck your textures up. So if you need to do this sort of stuff, do it before you start texturing up your model. And that seemed to be fine. Alright, so let's jump back out of isolation mode. Again, we're going to have to make, because I want these to be modular pieces so I can sell it as like a kit bash kit for people. We're going to have to remove pieces, but we're going to have to be very careful about how we just start designing this stuff. Which is why I'm going to have one piece which will be a complete circle in case people want no stairs. And then we'll remove some pieces, and I'm going to have a think about that, how we're going to design these pieces actually. I'm just going to jump back into isolation mode now that I have the middle piece selected. Wow. I really should have attached these decorative pieces to the top before I actually did the array. That's okay. Let's just open up this group. And I'm going to select the ring that we have there in the middle. and hold down the Shift key and scale out a copy. I'm just going to detach it too because I don't want it to be a part of that group. I'm going to jump into the top viewport. I think it might be easier for me to see our alignment this way. I didn't need to copy that. I could have just used a tube, created a tube shape, which I may end up doing because I'm just worried that this is a bit thick. Spacing tools work good too, they do. I like the space tool. I could have used the array tool to do that as well. But under the alignment tool, the spacing tool, I like the control you get with the spacing tool. I find it easier to use than the array tool because you have a lot of different options with the spacing tool. There's still different ways it can space things out for you, but you really only got one way using the array tool. Not goober good. I understood what you meant, Paz. I get it. It's okay. Yeah, my only concern with copying this piece is I'm worried it might be a bit thick, a bit too wide. No, it is a bigger railing section, so that's something to keep in mind. Again, I'm just making sure that it is positioned correctly here. Looks okay. I think what we'll do here is I'm going to close this group, jump back out of isolation mode. Yeah, you see that that our border here is completely covering up the other border we created because it's way too wide. So I think I'll do it a different way. I could get in there manually, move the inverts and all that sort of thing. But the quicker and easier way, I think, is just going to be for us to... looks like I have a double here. I just got to clean that up as well. Just going to remove one of these. I'm going to go through and manually move a couple of these out of complete alignment as well, because that's just the array tool and the align tool and the spacing tool. They're great tools, but they make everything perfect, and the real world isn't perfect. So all of it, particularly for things like these railing sections, I like to go through and manually move them to be imperfect, so they're not all completely the same distance apart. A couple of them might be twisted a little bit or turned slightly, rotated slightly, just to make the object more real. Because yeah, otherwise things start to just look too perfect, and if they look too perfect, they look too fake. So if you're going for realism, my advice is to go through and manually make things less perfect, but we'll do that after I've got the runs in. So let's jump back into the top viewport and let's go and use the we don't want a spline, want a basic shape, and we're going to use the tube. Because I have control over how thick it can be. Let's up the side value a little bit. Let's go to 128 so it's nice and round. I'm just going to position it and then we can do some fine tuning. Thinking, why isn't my thing moving? Because I'm not moving the axes, that's why. Alright, let's jump into our perspective here. And let's make some changes. The height is way too high. We don't want it that high. Let's move it up. Okay, now the thickness. So we're going from 43 to 42. Bring it in a little bit, not that much though. So we've got 43.04, let's try 43.01. No, let's go 43.08. Oh, sorry. Let's go 42.08, that's what I meant to say. No, it's too much. Let's go 42.9. That's okay. And this one is 42.3, which is the inner one. Let's try 42.4. 42.5. That should be good. Alright. Let me jump out of isolation mode so we can have a look at that. And now we can see our border underneath of it. The other one was way too thick and way too big. I think my alignment is just a little bit off. Just going to isolate these pieces. Really think the outer radius is a little big still. So let's go 42.8, 42.7. And that should be good. All right. We need another rung along the top edge, so I'm just going to duplicate this piece. Let's reduce the height. I do want the bits to stick above the edge just a little bit, like we do with the center piece. But the height is still too high, so let's reduce it. I need to bring it above the curve, so the curve is just there. All right. We're going to have to bring it in as well because it's the inner pieces sort of come in from the outside. So let's try. Let's start with the inner circle first. So 41.6. $41.9, no, 42.1, and the inner one will go 41.7. Let's go 41.9. Bit too much. Let's go 41.8. It should be good. Sweep work good. I know sweep works good, Paz. Yeah, sweep. Sweep is another option. Sweep you find underneath the modifiers through here. Yes, sweep, again, it gets back to what I said at the beginning. There's lots of different ways to get the same result in 3D. The sweep tool is used a lot in ArchViz to do edging along edging along the borders of walls or along the borders of ceilings, between the ceiling and the wall. You've got that like edging that runs along between. So the sweep tool is really, really good for that. That's okay. That's okay, Paz. It's all good. So yeah, the sweep tool is good. I did consider using it, but I found that the spacing tool, I like the spacing tool. But the sweep tool is good too. I don't play favourites, but they're all good. I'm just wanting to position this correctly. I really should remove the base, the green base, because it's sort of distracting me here. I think we might need to come out a little bit more on the tube. So the outer radius, let's go 42.2. Still a bit too small. Let's go 42.3. 42.4, 42.5. Let's have to make sure that it extends past the outer edges of these wrought iron pieces. I think that looks good. There are none sticking out, so that's fine. All right, now let's do a quick save. Again, I'm just going to check the size here to make sure that my height is correct. Yeah, no, I think that'll be fine. I could have made them a little bit tighter though. Instead, I could have made the gap a bit smaller. I'm just worried the gap might be a bit wide. We'll come to that in a minute. Yes, in a minute. Let us look at this piece, not that, this piece. Again, I'm going to ungroup it, or open up the group, not ungroup it. And I'm going to remove one of these pieces because we need it for the other railing. Just going to make sure I detach it from the group. And now we can close up our group again. There's that piece. Where is that piece? There it is. And I want the spline, and I also want the railing section. And let's position this over here. Alright, now let's see if we can get this to align correctly. Hey Tap Crush, good to see you. How are you, Tap Crush? Hope you're well. You're doing great. That's good to hear. It's always good to see you, buddy. Okay, now we're going to try and we have to try and align our top pieces. You'll see them along the bottom here. They're following the spline, but we have to try and align them to the the wrought ironwork. What you been up to, Tab Crash? What you doing? Been up to anything interesting? Okay. Alright, so provided we use the same count as the railing when we created it, they should automatically all line up. So let's hit apply and close that dialog. We can just move this piece out now. Let us select all of those pieces. Deselect the spline because we don't want that. Move them up. Deselect the railing. We don't want those. We just want the top pieces. Looks like we might be out just a little bit. Tap Crush says, I just ordered Subway on the app and I'm waiting for it to get it. I'm so hungry. And Tap Crush says, Phil doesn't mess about with fences. Looking good. Thank you, Tap Crush. That's right. I've done enough of them in my time. And I thought we'd do a metal fence this time as opposed to the stone ones we normally do. Just for something a bit different, I thought we'd do a metal one. Oh, wow, don't do that. But we need to try and get these to line up. Because they're just a little bit off. Are they off by the same amount on every one? That's the question. I think they actually are. No, they're not. They're slightly off on other parts as well. Wrong count. Yeah, you could be correct, Paz. It might have been the wrong count. Let's just go back and redo that. So we have our piece selected. We're going to do a line spacing tool. We're going to pick the path. Placing it along the path, so that's okay. I expected that. Yeah, you would assume that this would be correct because you see that they're in the middle of everything, so I should be able to move them over and they should line up. Still not lining up completely though. Yeah, there is the path is a spline. It's a circle spline. So, yeah, it's hard to see there, Baz, because it's dark blue. But yep, that's the spline there. I'm just wondering why they're not lining up completely. Let's hit apply here and let's see what we've got.
I got a legend on the way. I'm falling for you, baby. What can I do to make you stay?
Paz is saying select this object and property for the right count. I think we should be lined up.
So turn the music louder and let my feet not touch the ground. You're driving me crazy.
I'm just checking to see if they're all see, some of them aren't actually lined up correctly. Some of them are. Some of them aren't.
And you're driving me crazy. Please can you stay even just for the night?
Whoa.
Losing my way, but don't try to contain me, 'cause I'm still running wild.
Just trying to work out what the easiest way to do this will be. Why aren't you lining up? I think the count is still off. I didn't pay attention to the count when we created the railing to remember the count for the for these pieces. I think that's the problem. Yeah, I do remember. Paz is saying, because remember you had to delete one, and I did. You are correct. I deleted one of these railing pieces, which was the initial. It created one that wasn't spaced correctly. I'm wondering how that, but I still can't remember how the count for the actual rail. Was it 170? Was it 169? Can't remember. I'm just because yeah. I'm just going to remove them and redo them again. Where is the first? Oh, there it is. Good. Just want to make sure I don't delete the first one that we're using. Okay, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to move the spline up to begin with. So the spline is up. Okay, I think the problem we're having here is the spline is too large, because these pieces, as the curve comes up, it goes over the initial starting point, so it's further in. I think that's what's throwing it all. So what we need to do is we need to adjust the size of the spline to match the fact that it needs to be pulled in. So let's scale it. Okay. So now that we've scaled it, let's try that again. So we're going to divide evenly objects at ends. Oh, pick the path, that will help. It lines up on some, but not on others. I'm trying to work out why. There we go. 170, that was the number we had. I think we should be good. Let's hit apply and have a look. No, but that's fine. I'm pretty sure they're lining up. They're slightly off on some spots. Majority are lined up though, I think. Bingo, yeah. But let's move them all up because they're sitting a little bit low. So the first thing I'm going to do is just move the first one that we used for the rest off, so that I can select them all. And let's just get into position where we can see them so I can move them up. we have that double one again here. A couple of them are off. We're just going to have to do those by hand, I'm afraid. Can't be helped. The majority of them are lined up, but a couple of them are off. Geez, how many are off? Quite a few. Actually, it might be quicker and easier to select them all and move them at the same time. Yeah, they all look like they're just offset just a little bit. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to select them and move them all. I'm going to deselect the path. I don't want to be selecting that. I have snap turned on, so I may have to turn that off. Still not completely lined up though. You know, it may be easier for us to do, in the long run, it might be easier to do the attach before we do the rail. Not bingo, no, you have one or too many in my opinion. Do it again, it takes less. Yeah, look, I agree. I think it's going to be easier for us to, as Paz has just said, to redo the actual, the thing properly to begin with. Like, I'm going to select just two of these. Oh, that's right, we attached it all together, it's okay. Let's just attach this one. Now we can select those. I'm just going to move the pivot to the center. Actually, let me undo that. I don't want to do that. I'm just going to move these off. Let me deselect the path. There we go. All right. Now we're going to make sure this one is lined up. Good. Now we're going to attach these two pieces together. Okay. And now we're going to remove these pieces. Remember, we created them really quickly. They were using the spacing tool, so it's not a big deal. We did a scale of the path actually. So before I delete them, I'm going to scale our path back up again. So that it's the right size. It's probably a good idea because I remember I said I thought maybe I wanted the gaps to be a little bit smaller. So this will give me an opportunity to fix that as well. Just going to move that path down here so I can see whether it's lining up or not. Looks like it might be a bit big, so let's scale it back. It should be good. Okay, now we can remove these pieces, not these pieces. Let's move this one back into position. Now we can change the pivot point. I'm just going to move the pivot to the base of that wrought iron piece. Good. Now, let's move that in over where our path is. Move it up a little bit. Good. Now we can redo our spacing. Pick the path first, that would help. We're using 170. Okay, now we're having a problem here with the rotation. Why are you doing that? What I might do is I might reset the X form. Because we made some changes to the pivot point, so just seeing what other options I've got here. Manually rotate. Yeah, that's not going to work. Oh, actually, you're talking about after I've applied it, then to go through and manually rotate it. That would be annoying. That would be very annoying. If I have to do that. Why is it doing it? It's following the path. It's changing the rotation as it follows the path. Abigail says, here's a very early work in progress of the interior of the van. Still needs to go details on everywhere. I'll check that out in 2 seconds, Sniper Girl. I'm just trying to work out why my piece here is rotating. All right, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go back and center it to the. I'm going to reset the pivot. Center it to the object. Let's try that. I am breaking Max, that's right. Yes, Sniper Girl, I'm breaking Max. Let's try this again. Pick the path. I always forget to pick the path. Still rotating it. You understand and breaking. Look, I want to break from this anyway, so I'm going to check it out now. So Sniper Girl's working on the van for the gas station. So let's check it out. Oh, that's cool. It looks really cool. Yeah, that's looking very nice. I like the cloth physics work you got going on in here. Looking cool. So is this sort of like up on a bed thing inside the van? I imagine like the mattress down on the ground, but you've raised it up a bit. I guess that makes sense. You've got storage then underneath. Yeah, it's looking cool. Can't wait to see it when it's got some more stuff in it. It does. Looks great. Let me close that down so I can read my chat. Or was Max breaking me? That's exactly right. Wow. Wow. I've had this problem before. I have fixed it before, but I can't for the life of me remember how. How did I fix this problem? Oh, I remember. At the moment it's an edit poly. I'm going to convert it to an edit mesh. Let's try this with an edit mesh. No, that didn't fix it this time. It fixed it last time. Sniper Girl says, yes, on a bed, have storage area below. Mattress will be exposed. Under the blankets will make everything look all shitty, dingy as possible. Not only that fixed it for me, it fixed it last time. Didn't fix it this time, but I know how I can try and fix it. I've run into this problem before. I'm going to export selected as an OBJ file. Just going to send it to my desktop because it's only a temporary file. I'm just going to call it TMP for temp. Okay. Now I'm going to import it from my desktop. Temp. Import. Rename it because it's the same name as the one that's already in the scene. Okay, now you see where our pivot is here. By default, it's put the pivot in the middle of a world 000. I think that's the problem. It's the pivot point that's causing the issue. So let us center it to the object, reset the X form, collapse the stack. Paz says, yeah, she does want a hobo-ish van, yep. And Paz is saying you need to click follow in the spacing tools. Well, let's try this first, Paz. It's to do with the pivot point, that's causing the issue. I'm just going to move the old one here out a little bit. Tools, array, oh, no, not array. Tool, align, spacing, pick path. Still doing it. Yeah, look, you can see, Paz, I have follow ticked here already. That's not the issue. The issue is when it reaches the edges, it's not turning inward as it should be. Android Dust says, yeah, but the apocalypse type situation, they're talking about the ban, yes. Yeah, I have followed ticked already, Paz. That's not the problem. The problem is to do with the pivot point. Because if you look here, they're facing in the wrong direction. Even when I tick follow, it doesn't change these ones. See, follow makes it follow the path all the way around. We don't want that. We want it to be facing inward. And that's because it's working on the wrong axes. Rotate your base object. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Alright, well, let's cancel this. Let's rotate the object. Baz is suggesting we do a 90-degree rotation. And then we try and redo it. Pick the path. I always forget to pick the path. So let me have a look at that again. And you are correct, Paz. Thank God you're here, Paz. Thank you, Paz, yes. But it's still facing around the wrong way, so Paz is saying I don't need to close the dialogue. You are probably correct. But let's just make sure we rotate it around so it's facing the right way. Spacing tool. Pick path. Oh, did I delete? No. I'm just worried that I deleted the base spring anyway. By mistake. Anyway, we can work out. Last time we were at 170. But I thought that we needed a little bit, they needed to be a bit closer together. So maybe we can go higher than 170. I'm just going to get to a position where I can see the ring properly. So let's keep going up until we get to a look that is good. Let's try 195. And hit apply. Close. And that's probably better. Now we don't have to muck about with putting the tops on them. Let's just move that one out of the way and jump out of isolation mode. But you were correct, Paz. You were spot on. I'm just going to... If you try with that follow, you're going to see. All hail the Paz. That's right, Sniper Echo. Paz was correct. I did warn you guys, it's been a while since I'd used the tool. That's my excuse anyway. Let's jump into isolation mode. Let me just jump back out of it. Let me just deselect these bits in the middle. Back into isolation mode. Let me just deselect these ones over here. A long time ago for you too, Paz. That's why Paz makes the big bucks. That's right, Sniper Girl. That's why Paz makes those big bucks. Oh, good. I was worried I deleted the runners. Thank God I didn't. I would have been so annoyed with myself if I'd done that. Let's just move them up so it's in position. Alright, I'm going to jump into isolation mode again. And let's attach these pieces together. So we're just going to do an attach list again. And we're good to go. Alrighty. Yeah, I think just upping the number a little bit so the space wasn't quite as wide is better. Alright, we're not done here yet. I want something a bit more interesting than just this railing piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select these pieces, and I'm also going to select this wrought ironwork over here that I created and jump back into isolation mode, because I think having some of this decorative wrought ironwork in between would look really cool. Make it more interesting than just this sort of ironwork. This was created really easily. I used the spline tool just to trace out a shape, and then I took that shape, which is this one here, and then I extruded that shape, and that's basically how I made the ironwork here. So just a spline tool to create the actual design, use the extrude modifier to give it depth, and you got wrought iron. Now one of them's curved and two of them aren't. So that one's not curved, but this one is. We really need a curve to better match the railing pieces here. We don't have to. We could put a straight piece in between the curves. I'm just trying to work out which would look better. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to group this object so it's easy for us to move around. So yeah, either a curved piece or a straight piece. Let's try. Let us try. Let's try the curved piece. So let's just create a copy of that and pull it over here. And let's scale it up so it fits. Now, again, this is going into a render, not in a game engine, but this is going to use a lot more polys than just these straight little iron pieces. So bear that in mind if you're thinking about putting something in a game level, or bear that in mind as regards how many of these pieces you put in, because they're going to start increasing the poly count quite dramatically, quite quickly. Okay, I think some curved pieces here and there will look cool. So let's just place them around before we start deleting our railing pieces. I'm going to jump back into the top viewport. Going to get to around about the middle of the circle. Let's make a copy. Let's rotate it 180 degrees. Let's select both of those and rotate them, make a copy and rotate them 90 degrees. And let's do that again. And maybe one more time. I think that's enough. I think if we start adding too many more, it's going to start adding to the poly count too much. Yeah. But let's position them properly. We may do that for that central, for the smaller ironwork that's in the middle of the rotunda, the pond. We might put some of this in there as well. jump back out of the top viewport. And let's remove the railing pieces. Open up our group. And we're going to want to remove this one, and this one. This one, and this one. We'll line this up correctly once I remove the bars. And this one, and this one, and this one. You know what? I'm just undoing this because I want the bars to be removed, but I don't want the tops to be removed because I want to keep that looking consistent. So I'm only going to remove the bars. And I'm going to deselect just the top piece here. So I want to keep the spiky bits at the top, but I just want to remove the bars from underneath. Okay. I'm just going to do a little bit of cleanup here because we've got some polys just sticking out below that bar. There we go. Sniper Girl says, yeah, I agree with you there. I'm honestly afraid to ask what the poly count of this one decorative piece is. It's about 80,000 polys. It's a lot. This piece here, I think, is about, it's either 70, maybe about 70,000 polys. It's a lot of polys. 1 jillion. It's not 1 jillion, but it's about 70,000, so it's quite heavy. So that, you know, you might start multiplying 70,000 polygons too many times, you're going to start using a lot of polygons really quickly. 80,000, yeah, it is. It's quite high. It's because I wanted it to be nice and smooth. I took it into ZBrush and did some depth painting on it, so to give it a bit of depth to make it look like wrought iron work, so it wasn't flat. Because when you create the spline and then you extrude it, it's completely flat on both sides, which is it looks a bit weird for wrought iron, because wrought iron is not completely flat. And doing that is what really pushed the poly count up. If I kept it flat, like the other piece we see here, this piece here, that's completely flat. You could use that if you really needed to, if you really wanted to reduce the poly count. Use the flat piece because it's only like, I think that's probably about 4,000 polys. But I wanted depth to it. So, and again, I'm not making a game here. I'm creating a model for sale that's going to be used in render engines. So there you go. But we're still going to have to be careful we don't overuse it, because otherwise we're just going to bog our scene down with way too many polygons. Let's remove these ones. I just want to keep the top bit though. Wow. I hit the wrong key. There we go. And again, I've just got to move these verts up a little bit so they're hidden. Is that quads or triangles? Sniper Girl is asking. That will be tris, because I did do an optimize on it. When I was working on it inside of ZBrush, it was quads. When I sent it back from ZBrush to Max using Gauze, I then did a Pro optimize on it, which turned it into tris. So yeah, that's 80,000 tris, not quads. Sniper Echo says, I think we all know Phil doesn't spare any detail in his models. Just look at the last project. The house had every mod con. That's exactly right. Why spare the details? You want everything to look the best it can. Which is why when we come back to that project, for me to turn it into a game, I'm going to have to do some optimization on the models because they're a bit much. But again, I wasn't thinking of optimization because I was doing a cinematic, and this one similarly is going to be a render, not a game model. And come back after the fact to optimize it for games. That's my excuse and I'm sticking to it. I think we've only got a couple more of these to remove, and then we can line them up. Sniper Echo says, that game is going to be creepy, I just know it. I'm going to hide in the bathroom for sure. You're so cheeky, Sniper Echo. I get where you're coming from. You're being cheeky. You're going to hide in the bathroom. We are going to be putting a bathroom and a kitchen in. I did say that when we go back to make it into a game, we're going to put a bathroom and a kitchen in, so you will have somewhere to run and hide, Sniper Echo. You will be able to hide in the bathroom. Or the kitchen. Sniper Echo says, sorry, my bad. Needs a bathroom ghost. Lives in the toilet. You hide in the kitchen, Sniper Echo. Anyways, it's outside there, Paz says. Use trees. That's right, Paz. We told them, didn't we? You use the trees. That's what the trees are for. And the pond is there so you can bathe. You don't need a bathroom. What is this? You spoilt modern day people. You want bathrooms and you want kitchens. I mean, come on. What are you going to do when the world ends and the zombie apocalypse comes? You're not going to be able to, you're going to have to make do then, aren't you? You won't be running into your kitchen and cooking your meals or flushing your toilets. No, you have to make do. Sniper Girl says, yeah, right, you'll probably put a killer monster in the bathroom and the kitchen just for sniper. I probably will, I think I will. Sniper Echo, yeah. To freak Sniper Echo out completely when he played the game. There'll be a scare in the bathroom or in the kitchen. I won't tell you which. You're just going to have to play and find out. I want to put a bedroom in as well, because there's no bedroom. I'm surprised you guys and girls didn't pick up on that as well. There is no bedroom in the house. Yeah. No kitchen, no bathroom, no bedroom. That's interesting. I'm just wondering why anyway, I'm not going to question it. I'm not questioning it. Sniper Girl says, I'll be fine. Have my hobo van for zombie apocalypse. That's right, you got your hobo van for the zombie apocalypse. You're all set to go, Sniper Girl. Sniper Echo says, can I get a lift, Sniper Girl? Yes, how are we going to manage when the zombie apocalypse comes? Because you know it's coming. A zombie apocalypse, you're going to be... If The Walking Dead has taught us anything, be prepared for the zombie apocalypse. Wow. Okay, I'm thinking, how many more do I have to do? There's only this last one here. Okay. I can deal with that. I'm going to remove this one, and this one. We're going to keep the ones at the top. And we're going to tidy up the birds. Just through here. No. There. Sniper Girl says, speaking of zombie apocalypse, who's all excited for Resident Evil 2 coming out soon? Yeah, it should be cool. It's a classic Resident Evil. They ruined it a bit with the newer version, so yeah, I think it's going to be cool. Redoing Resident Evil 2, bringing it up to date with higher res textures and stuff, it's going to be cool. Sniper Ricky says, I don't fear it as much as I do Phil's Home Improvements game. Oh, you're going to get a slap. I'm going to slap you, Sniper Echo. And you. I'm feeling slap happy. But yes, no, Sniper Girl, I'm looking forward to it. I think it should be really cool. I'm just going to change the pivot point here while I do this so that I don't have to keep moving my model around. No. Are you all ganging up on me? Is that what's going on here? Are you being mean to the streamer? And don't forget, there's going to be an outhouse on that game level of mine as well, so who knows what could come at you from when you go into the outhouse. You would never do such a thing, Sniper Girl? Good to hear. Don't pick on the streamer. Smurfberry says, this tree next to the outhouse is not a tree. Maybe the toilet bowl in the outhouse is not a toilet bowl. You go to use the toilet and you could be in all sorts of trouble. Ah. Or not. You just won't know until you try. Sniper Echo says, I'm locked away under the bed in the van. I'm calling shotgun on that. Okay, I think we're back to the beginning now. Just got to make sure that that they're sitting inside the rail correctly. Might just move. Okay, I think we've got all those done. Let's regroup this. We'll close the group. And I just want to attach these pieces to the group as well. Good. Okay, let's jump out of isolation mode. Right. Now I'm thinking I want to add some of this wrought ironwork to this small fence inside as well. Maybe. So what I'm going to have to do here to try and make these pieces modular is I'm going to have one piece that's a complete circle like this, so if people decide they don't want to put any stairs around it, which like I said is going to be really weird because there'll be no way for people to get in there. But hey, who knows? People can do what they want when they buy the model. They can design it however way they want. So I'm going to need one piece like this, which is a complete circle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this and just pull it off to the side. Like that. So now we don't have to worry about that. And I'm going to need one piece here, which is where people have stairs either side, so two pieces. So 2 stairs, or 4 stairs, or 3 stairs, like here. I don't think people will put more than 4 stairs in. I would find it incredibly difficult for people to believe more than 4 steps around this little rotunda was necessary. So I'm going to say they're not going to have more than 4 of these steps going up to the rotunda. So we need to create one of these for 3 steps like we have here, and one for 4 steps. I don't think there's any way I can split this up so that people... yeah, I don't think I can quarter it and not make it more difficult for people to use the modular pieces. I think it's probably easier for me to pre-cut it to 3 steps and then pre-cut it to 4 steps. So we have a full circle, we have one cut for 3 steps and one cut for 4 steps. Paz is asking if I'm going to add this work in the Unreal Engine. Probably not this model, no. I may add a couple of other models from my store though. I will add a rotunda. I have 2 other rotundas, and I'm actually thinking when we go back to work on the Unreal level, because I enjoyed making it. It was a lot of fun. Let me just let's just have a look at my store. Actually, let me go to my ArtStation because I have an image in my ArtStation of the rotunda I want to use. This one here. So I'm thinking about bringing this into that house on the hollow level, but for somewhere inside in the forest somewhere. So this is probably the rotunda I'll bring in, because I like these statues. They're a bit creepy, and the model actually has this terracotta tile base as well. So I think this would be cool to bring inside the level. We'll place this in the forest somewhere, and we'll work out some story around it. Thank you, Sniper Girl. Yeah, I think this would look cool. It's an interesting model. The statue's a bit creepy. I call it the Arcane Rotunda, so if we put this somewhere in the forest, we can work out some sort of story to go around it for the game. I think that could look cool. So that's the plan. If I bring a rotunda in, it will be this one. Not this one that we're working on now. So yeah, for these modular pieces, I think it'd be easier for me to cut them up as opposed to giving people one like quarter fence and expecting them to be able to position it around the rotunda correctly. It's a bit creepy, Sniper Girl says. I agree with you. It is a bit creepy, and it is called the Arcane Rotunda. Yeah, it is creepy. Actually, there is another model I should have, which is I might use somewhere as well from my portfolio, and it's called Mystic Entrance. This one here, and this one also is a bit creepy. This one's more deco, so this would probably fit the building as well. because it's a deco-y period building, and this is like a deco design. And again, this is this has a figure here, a statue beside the door. So I might bring this in too and use it somewhere inside the game. I think it could look cool. Smurfberry says, when you made the shaders for the house in the hollow, did you make a shader per object or use a base class? Depended on what it was. I used a base class for a lot of the glass stuff. A lot of the furniture I didn't, because they were uniquely textured in Substance Painter. So yes on some things, no on the furniture. So yes and no. I made a base class for some of the objects like the glass, chandeliers, all of that sort of thing, which I then instanced. But I couldn't do that with the furniture because the furniture was uniquely UV mapped and textured inside of Substance Painter. We use smart masks, remember, to actually texture everything up uniquely. I'm using a procedural smart mask, but yeah. So yes, Smurfberry, I did both. Smurfberry says modify the base class to include a dripping blood texture effect. Well, all the glass, like the glass chandeliers and stuff, I could do that because they're all instanced. That glass shader they're all instanced, so we could have some blood dripping off them. That would be creepy, actually. Blood dripping off those chandeliers, that would be creepy. Because we've got a few of them. We've got the two main chandeliers in the main dining room, or the main ballroom, and then we've got the chandelier in the dining room as well. So you can have blood dripping all over the dining table, pooling up on the dining table. Super spoopy, yeah, it would be. So yeah, they're the two models I'm thinking of when we come back to doing that House on the Hollow game. We will bring in and create some story around. But I think we might leave it there for today. When I come back on Monday next week, we'll pick up where we left off here and finish off doing the railing work for these other sections. I'll split this railing up so that we can turn it into more of a modular piece. Let's do a quick save because we don't want to lose the work we've done. That would be bad. That would be very bad. But I do want to thank you guys and girls very much though for hanging out with me and watching and being here. It's good to see all you guys and girls, and thanks Sniper Girl, Sniper Echo, Paz, Smurfberry, everybody that popped in and said hello, anyone that wasn't in chat and has been watching. I appreciate you guys and girls being here and watching me. I will be back on Monday next week. We'll pick up here and yeah, we'll go from there. We should probably finish the modelling. If not Monday, then Tuesday. So the week after, we'll jump into Mari and Substance Painter and start texturing up the pieces. You're quite welcome, Sniper Echo. Thank you for being here. Thank all you guys and girls. You have a great weekend and take care. I'll be back on Monday and hopefully I'll see you guys and girls then. See you all on Monday. See ya.